Hello and welcome to your meditation practice as part of the Open Heart Project. My name is Susan Piver and I am delighted to give you meditation instruction. And today we're going to sit together for 10 minutes and we're going to start right now. Sometimes people wonder why I give the full instruction every time, and that is because new people are constantly joining the Open Heart Project. And you can know that as you sit today, there are over 10,000 people all over the world who sit together with you to practice. So we are not doing this alone, and it's very wonderful. So you may sit on the floor on a cushion, and if you do, please sit with your legs crossed loosely in front of you. And don't sit with one ankle on top of the other. If you do, sit with one in front of the other. But it is also completely fine to sit in a chair. And if you do, please sit with your feet flat on the floor. And as we begin today, I want to review two basic things very briefly. Don't worry, we're going to get right to the practice. But we can't really hear these things too many times, in my opinion. And the first thing is that meditation is about the placement of attention. Usually, that's what mindfulness is. You're placing your attention on the present moment. Usually our attention is going all over the place, but in meditation practice, we work with directing that attention where we would like it to go, which is a very powerful thing. In the case of this meditation practice, we place our attention on the breath. Other meditation practices use things like images or sounds, like chanting Om, but we use the breath. And placing attention on the breath is different than thinking about the breath. And to demonstrate, this very simple experiment that you can do with me is if I ask you to notice your left knee, I'm sure you can do that. Just notice it. There it is. And now, without moving or shifting anything, place your attention on your right shoulder. Just notice that. So something moved between your knee and your shoulder, and that something is your awareness, your attention. And that is what you place on the breath in meditation. So I'll explain that more when we go into the practice itself. And the second thing I want to remind you of or mention, if this is your first practice, is that meditation does not mean you're supposed to stop thinking. The only thing you have to stop thinking is that. There is no need to, quote, clear the mind of thought, to quiet the mind, to empty the mind, to stop thinking things. You can be a peaceful Dalai Lama in your practice, or you can be a cranky, tired, angry person in your practice. Completely fine. Because the object isn't to become a perfectly peaceful, blissed out person, although hopefully that will happen for all of us. It's to become a genuine person. And we become genuine by hanging out with ourselves as we are. And it wouldn't do to be like, don't stop thinking right now, because you're supposed to be meditating, because the amount of times you would meditate would probably be like 2, and then you would give it up because it would be so irritating and frustrating. So don't worry, you do not have to stop thinking. You're allowed to think as much as you want. And there's instruction for how to relate to thought in practice, and I'm going to give you that instruction when we come to that point in a few minutes. So we're going to start right now. So here we go with our meditation practice. So in meditation, there are 3 things to be mindful of. And the first is your own body. The practice begins with the way you take your seat. And the basic idea is to sit up straight, because we all feel the difference between this and this. There's just a natural ease and dignity in an upright posture. But you don't have to sit up straight and stiff like someone's just scolded you for having bad posture. You're sitting up straight with a sense of dignity and aliveness, because you're not a steel rod stuck in the ground. You're a living, breathing person, and you can feel that in your back body expands and contracts, makes little micro movements. That's fine. The hands or palms down just above the knee or at mid-thigh, And the biceps basically should be parallel with the torso. And while your back body is straight and strong, notice that your front body is soft and open, because it just is. So notice and relax your belly, your heart, and your throat. These are three of the gates with which we communicate with our world, and they seem to always be open. So you can relax with that open, soft quality because you have a strong back to support it all. The chin is tucked a little bit, so the back of the neck is long, and the chin should be parallel with the ground. And now for my favorite part. The mouth is closed, because this is one chance that you have where you don't have to say anything. And you can relax into the delight of silence. So the mouth is closed, but the teeth and lips can be slightly parted, because that helps the jaw to relax. But let all the muscles of speech relax. Jaw, throat, and so on, the tongue. And let the inclination to speak relax too. Breath comes in and out through the nose in a natural way, which means there's no breathing technique, just breathing. And in this practice, the eyes remain open, and the gaze is cast down to a spot about 6 feet in front, or what would be 6 feet in front if you don't have that much space. And just let your eyes rest on that spot. But rather than staring at it, let the whole visual field in. Notice everything you can take in through the eyes without moving the eyes. This creates a kind of softness in the eyes. And the crown of the head reaches up a little bit, while the sit bones continue to root down. And this is mindfulness of body. Next is mindfulness of breath. So that thing that you move from your knee to your shoulder, place that on your breath as it comes in and out through the nose. And stay with your breath. Come all the way in on the inhale and flow all the way out on the exhale. The next inhale will just happen. You don't have to try. And begin again. Coming in and flowing out. You don't have to grip your breath with your attention. Imagine that your breath is like a hammock swinging in on the inhale and out on the exhale. And your attention can rest in the hammock. Just sway. Mindfulness of breath. All the while, your mind is doing what it's doing. It's no problem. Thoughts will come and go. Most will sort of flicker like fireflies, and they won't really distract you. That's cool. But at some point you may find that you have forgotten about your breath and you've become completely absorbed in thought. That too is cool. No problem. All you have to do when you notice this is let go And let go like you're opening a closed fist and a feather is just floating out, floating up. You're not letting go like rah, snipping or hacking or crumpling. It's just a very simple release. Gently bring your attention back to your breath and kindly begin again. And it doesn't matter if your thoughts are vicious or beautiful or poetic or silly or trite or important, irrelevant, completely. When you notice you're absorbed in them, let go, come back, and take a fresh start. And the amount of do-overs you get is infinite. And this is mindfulness of mind. So we'll practice. Thank you so much for your practice. Can you